Okay. That was weird. Hello. I am... A lot of you guys know me as Kai Lynx, but my name is River Kai, so hello. I'm going to be answering a few of your questions, and you guys gave me really awesome questions, so I'll try to answer as many as possible. This one says, how many other characters can we expect to be introduced? And I'm not totally sure, but I am thinking about 10 to 12 from what I have planned out so far, but I haven't written the entire middle, so there's that. Did you think your comic would ever become this popular? I did not think my comic would be this popular, so I was pretty amazed and grateful, because that's a huge compliment. What inspired me to create the characters the way I did? I guess I tried to focus on the character's personality a lot for this one compared to my first comic, because my first comic is a lot of just concept basically, and this one is really invested emotionally. So I wanted to think about every emotional aspect and try to properly convey that. Some of it is ish real life people, but it's more gathered from my personal experiences than anyone specific. Man, these are so deep. Okay.
That's an easy question.
Will there be any asexual and or aromantic main characters? I would like to think so, because there will be a lot more people that Tyler and Casey meet in their friend group. They're in kind of a creative field in their college, and I think there's a lot of LGBT people when it's any type of art involved, so I wanted to add just about everything in there. Why do you break my heart with this comic? Because I'm a sadist. Actually, I think it's interesting for people to feel something when they're reading it, especially if it's something dark and related to that, because I think art is an outlet, so if I can put that down on paper, it can maybe get it out of your system instead of it having to come true. How long does it take for me to produce an average page of one of my comics? For this comic, I think it takes about 5 to 6 hours, and that's just because it depends on the background. Like if there's a big background, then it's probably 8 hours, and I hate backgrounds. For my black and white comic, sometimes it takes even longer, because I don't know why. That literally makes no sense. Oh, Shinda. Shinda asked, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? What's my favorite and least favorite part about making a page? I guess I already said part of that. I hate making backgrounds, like they're just a pain in the ass. It's a lot of perspective and stuff, which is okay. But I'm not very creative with buildings, like I was not meant to be an architect. And my favorite part is shading, other than drawing hair. Even though I guess it just depends on the page. This person, oh my god, that's so nice. They said your comic is the reason I created an account on Tapastic. The feels, man. The feels. Who is your favorite character to draw and why? That depends on the day. I think you guys will notice. I'm terrible at picking favorites, so I don't have any favorites. Right this second, my favorite to draw is Casey, because he's such a dork in a good way. And then, who is the character you dislike the most, even if they haven't been introduced yet? That is a sneaky question. So without any spoilers, some of their parental units. I'll just go with that. How long do you plan on running what sexual? I think it depends on how fast I draw it, but maybe a year or two. Probably 2. And then, I don't know, man. It's just gonna run for a while. This one says, so, cookie cats or lion liquors? And then you guys all, that was like the the third most liked comment. And I have no clue what that means. So I'm gonna look it up right now. What? Is this something from Steven Universe? See, this is why I don't know anything, because I have no time to watch TV. So I can't even answer that question. Sorry. But since I'm a lynx, maybe neither. Is the plot going to primarily focus on Tyler and Casey helping each other emotionally? Or, sorry, I was reading it. Or are we going to also see a fluffy romantic side to them as well? That question contains a lot of spoilers, so I can't tell you. for a very important reason. Sorry. Maybe yes. Because there was 2 questions, so now you don't know which one I answered. Should I tell them a little bit about my life? How do I sum that up?
But
Like my life.
I can probably like sum it up, like.
Yes, I shall sum it up indeed. Okay, a lot of people are asking about my life and why I wrote this comic and if it relates to me. And yes, it does. I wrote this comic right when I was finishing my questioning phase about my gender, mostly because I kind of figured out that I'm pansexual. I like a lot of people, as in a lot of different types of people, because if you want to ask me what my preference was, I can't. I was thinking a lot about gender and how it's so hard to fit people into labels, and I was literally sitting in a chair when this whole entire story just came to me, and I started writing it down, and in 4 hours I had like 5 chapters. So that is what's sexual. And it's somewhat based on parts of my life, but not necessarily specific people as much as what I've noticed from it. A lot of people think that I'm Tyler, and I have aspects of Tyler, but I have aspects of all of my characters. Is that a good summary?
Did you mention you were trans, or do you want to tell them?
Wait, did I not mention that?
I don't think so.
Wow, I went through that whole thing without mentioning I'm trans. Okay, well, I'm trans. I'm a trans guy, and there's that. So that's also, I guess that's obviously a reason. Wow, that's a reason why I'd write this. Should I tell them a little bit about my life? About my transliness? Transliness? It's like a combination of manliness and transgender.
Transliness is something.
Yeah, so about my transliness. My transiness is showing. I just like telling people like I'm super gay. Because people be like, oh, that's so gay. Like, there's gay and then trans, it's like so gay. I'm like, yeah, so gay. I guess I wanted it to be there for people who, even if you can't relate to it in terms of being genderqueer, I think a lot of people suffer from depression and suicidal feelings, so I think a lot of us can relate and help each other in that sort of way. Are any of these scenes are scenes from CNS, my other comic, Chronic Nightmare Syndrome, based on something that actually happened with you. And they're talking about the Halloween illustration, which if you guys didn't know, my best friend in college and I are pretty much like Casey and Tyler. They're like Casey and I'm like Tyler. So they suggested that I should draw our Halloween costume because we're both cats. So I did. That is based off of real life. And then now I have someone who's exactly like Casey that I can be like, what would Casey do? Like, what would Jesus do? What would Casey do? CNS, it's definitely related to my life. A lot of them are actual nightmares I've had, and their illnesses are very similar to what I have had in the past. I've had a lot of autoimmune diseases. I made up a bunch of conspiracy theories that may or may not be true about the medical system, so there's that. And that doesn't leave any spoilers either. Oh. Have you ever self-harmed, and if you did / do, how do you get over it? And they said that this comic is relieving in that aspect, and that it's a very big deal to me. So, thank you. Yes, I have, but I don't really remember the last time I did right now because I'm really bad at dates. But it wasn't extremely long ago. How I get over it is that I distract myself, and I do a lot of certain things that I know will occupy my mind and release that emotion a different way. So I take it and then change the activity that I'm doing because it's something that needs a replacement, so it's not as compelling to do that at that moment. My therapist before has told me like to put a rubber band around my wrist and snap it, but that doesn't really work for me because I'm kind of a doofus. So I just like listen to music or draw or surround myself with people. So I have people that know that I do that, and that if I did that, I'd be forced to tell them, and I do not want to. and that really prevented it. Someone asked what's my favorite animal, and I just like, you can't ask me about favorites still. I don't know. Like maybe all of the wildcats and wolves and cats. Why is Casey such a cutie booty? Sounds weird coming out of my mouth. Everyone loves Casey. I love Casey. I don't know, he's just Casey. There's more about Casey. Why on earth is Casey so precious and tall and beautiful? Because he's like beautiful, perfect human being. There's Caseys that exist, man. How was art school? Art school is great! Just screaming at people. What do I like to do in my spare time when I'm not making comics or attending school? That's like never. I sleep maybe for like a couple hours. Oh, I was wondering if people thought about this. Someone asked why for Tyler's hair, why did you choose that side for the shave and not the other one? His head is actually shaved like on both sides, so his hair is just flopped over on one side all the time. But you guys haven't, he hasn't been doing anything actively, but there's like a scene where you'll see his hair like and it's not sexual. What is your most favorite comic on Tapastic? Have you seen my reading list? It has like 250 things. Like, I love them all. What is your favorite part about What's Sexual? And it's probably the ending, so sorry. What are my life dreams? It's a big question. I want to become a man. I'm a man. Okay, so my amazing best friend who's helping me film this right now, we were sitting in their room, and I don't think, did I even say anything?
I think you said something like really quietly.
Yeah, I said something really quietly because, I don't know, I just talked quiet, and then they were like, did you just say, like, I'm a man? Like, under my breath, just whispering, like, I'm a man. I know, I can say that all the time. I think it's hilarious because I look like a 12-year-old boy. My life dreams other than becoming a man. I really want to just make a crap load of comics and help people with them. Since what helped me the most finish my questioning and like accept myself as being trans was watching YouTube videos of trans YouTubers that were there to help people, so I really want to do that. But that's just like a current goal, and I can't plan that far in the future. I don't know. I'm becoming a man.
I know, man.
So thank you all for your awesome questions. I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what you guys say. Thanks for all of your support on my comics, and I love reading all of your guys' comments. It makes me really happy, and it's my favorite part about posting. So thank you so much, and bye.